Hey guys, author diary or something here. If you just came from the main channel or you're gonna watch that video after this, notice I'm the same everything. It's because I'm recording these literally seconds after the update video on Lincoln's Legion. I wanted to. I'm sorry about the fan in the background. It's a little bit warm in here. I wanted to talk about stuff that's going on with the book and what I'm working on right now when it comes to book two and other writing stuff. Um, Book two is coming along well. I have the entire outline is what you call it. My brain is fucking fried. Not by any drug use or anything. I'm just man stressed, overworked. I guess in a way, mentally overworked. So no, we're laying down. The book is coming along well. I'm about 54 pages in, 54 solid pages, and which is translated to about 5 chapters. I'm starting chapter 6 tomorrow and just trying to get the basic outline, but I'm trying to refine the outline as I go. Like, I'll do the chapter and then I'll go back to the beginning of the chapter when I reach the next chapter, and I'll write chapter 5, and then once I hit chapter 6, I'll go back to the beginning of chapter 5 and clean it up to make sure that chapter 6 has a strong foundation to immediately bounce off of, you know? So, each chapter is taking a long time. Like, it's taken me sometimes a day to get through, like, 3 pages, and I'll be sitting there writing for solid, like, 4 to 8 hours. It all depends. So, and because of that, I'm kind of like postponing drawing. I'm postponing like I'm not even gonna bother making music right now. At least not for not for a while until I get draft one done for the book. I'm not gonna be making more music for it. Even if I even do, I might just release what I have. I don't know. The whole music aspect of it is kind of falling off for me because I'm limited on what I can do. I'm not a musician, but yeah, so that's book two, and I think I've decided what I'm gonna name it. I mentioned this in the Lincoln's Legion vlog I just put out. Man, look at that muscly fucking arm. um, I think I'm going to call book two. Originally, it was gonna be. I don't even know if I want to say the old title of the book because it's kind of a spoiler for book one, so I'm not gonna say that because it was like the placeholder name. But I think I'm gonna call this Vengeance Cataclysm, or at least something along those lines. I'm borrowing Cataclysm from the Cataclysm story, the origin story, that I was going to have written and published separately along with the other origin stuff, because I think Cataclysm is going to fit this book better for a myriad of reasons. Even though they both have to deal with cataclysmic events, this one is the foreboding cataclysm as opposed to the precursor cataclysm of the first draft of the origin story. Just had melted. I just fucking melted. So anyway, I think I'm gonna call it Vengeance Cataclysm, and it's coming along well. I'm thinking it's gonna be end up being 400 pages like book one. Depends on how it stretches out. But I'm trying to keep the chapters focused on basically one scene each. I'm trying not to do scene changes that much. Like, this chapter is going to pertain to being in the house with this event happening, and then this chapter is pertaining to basically the interaction with these characters. You know, I'm trying not to location hop as much as I can for chapters until we get to certain scenes where it's kind of needed. Because I like using chapters as a transition, in a sense. Like, transition from one day to the next day, from one main event to the following main event, you know, because you don't want to have two, say, fight scenes in one chapter that have a relaxed period in between, and then the same chapter that seems really cluttered. So even if they're in the same day and hours apart, you want to spread that between chapters to give the audience, to give the reader time to breathe, process, and evaluate what just happened before they're thrown into another fight scene where a character will potentially die, and then it's just like, oh, you know, it's that kind of thing. So I like to structure the chapters like that. I'm sorry, I'm trying to get comfortable. But that's book two stuff right now, so it's going well, and I'm having a hard time thinking of chapter names, honestly. Like, I always like to have creative names, but I'm feeling very stifled right now. So I'm trying to give them I'm usually whenever I name chapters, it has to do with, I want it to relate to the beginning and the end of the chapter. So how the chapter starts out versus how the chapter ends, because usually the chapters end on a revelation, a cliffhanger, a mystery or some powerful event. Chapters don't usually end on, and then I went to school. Usually ends on, I don't know if I can do this anymore. I just might die. Kind of thing. That's how it usually goes. So, trying to name them something that's enticing enough, poetic enough, and something that encompasses all of that chapter, because like I said, they usually take place in one general location or theme or scene. It's been a pain in my fucking ass. Because you also don't want it to spoil the chapter. You want it to entice the chapter. I just got really hungry all of a sudden. But moving away from book 2, talking about Transgression real quick. I just had my friend Jay from Indonesia draw me a new cover art, which is based on my 10-hour drawing that I did, which is not good. I mean, it's not bad, but it's not as clean or professional as his. So I had him redraw my drawing for the chapter, which should be live for Amazon. I'm still waiting on Sam to send me the physical copy that I printed out for her to look over grammatical and spelling errors, because as far as I could find, there weren't any, but there's always something, and I'm not going to read through it again to try to fix it, because if I read through it again, I'll get stuck editing more and expanding more, and it will never end. That's why book 1 took 10 years. 8 years. Technically, it was published in 17, but there was still stuff being fixed as I went along. Anyway, 5 to 8 years. So Transgression is published, but there may be an update going out for the Kindle and everything. And then once that's done, I will print a copy for myself to have and to put in my collection. Then we have Hebeloma, which is Lust and Lucy's story. And that is in the same vein as Transgression, where it's done and ready to be read as an ebook, but may have an update coming out later once Sam or somebody else reads through and edits it for me and makes sure that everything is clean and crisp. Also waiting for Jay for the end of this month to draw me up a cover for it. And I have an idea. I have a couple of ideas. I think I know which one I'm going to stick with. Because the whole piece will encompass like 5 different themes and events of the story that all kind of work together to form like an attraction to the story. Judge a book by its cover. I don't care what anybody says. The whole don't judge the book, it's fucking stupid. If the cover is good, people want to read it. I'm sorry. The first thing you see is the cover. Nobody goes, oh, it's a shitty cover. What's the synopsis say? They go, that's a shitty cover. I don't care about the synopsis. Who looks at a shitty cover and then is like, oh, well, maybe the synopsis says it's better. If it's a shitty cover, it's a shitty cover. Okay, it's probably not a shitty book, but it pushes me away, dude. So. I'm one to talk. My covers aren't anything special, but and then outside of that, the last thing that I had been working on for a while is the Vengeance Book 1 Collector's Edition, which will have Vengeance Children of Faust, Impurity, Transgression, Hebeloma, Never Lie, and the original Vengeance. So Never Lie is the first original typed out 8-page short story that everything's based off of, and then Vengeance, as it was called just at the time, Vengeance, not the subtitle Children of Faust, is in there, which has many different variations of like the ending is completely different. The final fight is completely different. Many scenes that I took out are in there, and it's basically just like the original, like what it might have been if I left it alone. And like this is the very first original story, Vengeance, before I did serious, changes. So although those two things are non-canonical, but there's like a little like, here you go, if you're interested to see where it all came from and how shitty it was and how I've improved, there you go. Don't hate it. Don't hate it. Don't judge me. So doing that, and that all comes together to be, depends on how I format it. The way I wanted to format it, it was about a 1,000-page tome, but I can't find a printing service that will let me print out 1,000 pages. So 800 pages, but I can't format it in the exact way it wants me to. It's like, embed the fonts. I embed the fonts. You didn't embed the fonts. Bitch, I fucking embedded the fonts. I can't get it to work, so I kind of set that aside for now, because I was going to print it out for myself but I cannot for the life of me get it to work. So I'm eventually going to have that for myself too. But I am going to, once Hebeloma and Transgression are edited and everything's done and ready, I'll print out all the versions of everything prior to book 2, so I have a physical copy of everything to display on a shelf, and maybe get a few more that I can give to people or sell, or do a giveaway for or something. But yeah, I think that's all the book updates for now. Book 2 is going, but since I'm going to be going back to work Tuesday the 16th, book book priorities will be kind of balanced between that and Twitch streaming, twitch.tv/ahlincoln. They'll be kind of going back and forth because Twitch will be a downtime priority, and writing book 2 will be a work time outside of work priority. So, smells like rain outside. Fuck yes. So, anyways, guys, that is it for this video. If you made it to the end, comment vengeance down in the comment section below so I know you made it to the end. I appreciate you. I'm getting ready for bed. It's 2:40 in the morning, and I'm hungry. I want to wake up and have pancakes. Do I want pancakes? I want some French toast. I don't know. I want food, man. I want food. Goodbye. I'm a crazy person.